much I'm allowed to say, but it's strong enough you can go in. It's,
You can go in.
yes, that's, you know, it's designed, that's fine looking and what you
Oh,
How sturdy is it?
very,
It's really lively.
yeah, it's made overnight.
Very good. Very good.
Kind of reminds me of one of those kids, like, you know, in the playground, like, crawl in and it's like own little
Reminds
world.
me of a pod. Like, I would personally just climb in and take a nap inside.
Yeah, what was it like if you lie down there?
It's a human-sized kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
magical.
Yeah, it really feels magical inside.
Oh yeah, I said the same thing.
Kaleidoscope. You're gonna get in.
Different lights, the colorful lights and the combination.
Oh, that's good. It's really, really calming, like watching the stars.
But when you lie down, you miss the light and the lights.
No, if you get in yourself, you've got to get out yourself. Those are the rules. But what about obviously you're looking inside, what about the whole thing? What about let's call it the outside?
It's kind of, it's like this spaceship kind of model that you, like, that's what it would be like if you were in space, kind of.
You know, for me, it just makes me think like some kind of sort of tunnel, like Coraline, she has to climb in to get to the other side.
Oh, exactly. I want to send the same thing to the other world. Yeah, it's just a hidden,
Like a portal.
You can explore it.
I enjoy like the tape on the bottom, how it's almost like the lights are reflecting off it.
Yeah, did you say you really want to mirror it?
I'm not allowed to say anything.
I like the noise the tape makes.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's an impressive structure.
Yeah. Kind of feels like, you know, when you have something new and you're trying to rip it up and you that contact.
What about the light on the wall here?
I've just heard of that.
Oh yeah.
What about all this? It's been,
That's cool in itself as well.
it's been purposefully
The whole
placed.
box.
That's the
Yeah, it's been
explore.
yeah.
You go and like curiosity and then you
Yeah,
just
it has something,
feeding
it's not childlike about just, I don't know, you know that thing when you're a child and, I mean, I used to just go under the blanket and I would just picture myself somewhere else. So it feels like going inside, you're going somewhere else, like in your own space.
It is a very self-contained piece of work, isn't it? It's like, it is what, it feels quite resolved as a piece of work, I think.
I would say I kind of disagree with that. Piece because, like, I'm looking at it and there's so many things which, like, I think as a basis there's a lot more you can do. Like, I love the choice of lights you've gone for. I really I think they're brilliant. But I mean, like, it's so, like, it's really beautiful in there that I'd kind of love to see you make the outside totally the opposite, like, to make it, like, even make it look like a rusted pipe, like, you know, which has just came out of the ground. The other thing is, like, with the bottom here, it's a shame. I'd rather see that, like, perfectly flat rather than scrunch.
Oh, I liked it. I thought that
It's nice for that, but I think it'd be really nice to have the inside all perfect and tranquil with those lights, and then have the outside all rough and, you know, kind of like, well, not distorted, but, you know, again, like a pipe that came out of the ground. But actually, in the sense of like development, I would love to see this on a big scale, so you can just walk through it. You don't even need to lie down. I think that would be absolutely brilliant. Like, you could even lean into stuff like like the fairground and you know, like the carnival. I don't know if you count more or less the same, but like that does come to mind, and obviously I heard other people say it. I think that's a really powerful thing, and that's where you could try. Maybe, I don't know how you do it, but you could then experiment with more sensors than just what you can see. If you can, get something so you can smell in it. So like you could walk in and basically, but you'd want to isolate it so that you can't smell it unless you're inside there. So you've got loads of smells you can work from. You can have like popcorn, you could have candy floss, or I don't know, if you wanted to have like the burger van kind of smell and stuff like that. Really try and tap into people's thoughts which come from it, they're not obvious because you've done nothing that is obvious for that, but that is definitely what people are pulling away consistently.
To tap into the subconscious.
That's it, yeah.
You know, like they do in marketing, when you go into a shop, because they do different scents.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I like this, but you don't really know why you like it.
Yeah.
For the green.
Yeah, it's like, and I think that would really combine well when if you did decide to, you know, go to town on the outside and make it really rough, because then it's almost like from the outside it's horrible, from the inside it's so tranquil, and you get flooded with like, especially, and when it comes to like the idea of the fair or maybe other places.
I disagree with that. I think that's just making it it's giving it too much of a meaning. I think it's just beautiful as it is.
Well, the thing is,
I don't think it needs an explanation.
I like the green.
Like, you don't look at the stars and go, oh look, that looks like a fish, or you just look at them because they're beautiful as they are.
well, I was saying it probably more from the side of if you were to develop it, rather than you should change it.
But doesn't that exterior intimate all that? Don't you, I mean, it seems like a difficult aim thing. In terms of it, like giving it a literal, the outside is green, the inside is blue. But this barrel shade, well, my previous life coming into play, to me intimates sort of industrial barrels for putting coils of electrical cable around, or something like that. So it has that sort of industrial feel to it, and that, I think you were just saying there, really, the grey that's put on there has a slight industrial feel to it anyway, but it's also quite nondescript as well.
Yeah.
So that you do tend to focus just on the inside.
I think the grey definitely. I think if it was any other colour than grey, it would have probably leaned more into stuff like water slide or, you know, kids playground kind of thing. Like you've seen the tube slides and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just kind of liked it because it's like when you look inside it, it's really well done. It's beautiful to look at. But I would love to kind of have that as a contrast against something that isn't. I do.
This is where some of us are parting company with because.
Yeah.
I know. But again, I know it's.
It reminds me of my love lamp at home. I literally stare at my love lamp and it's just nice to just look at, and that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I feel at ease just looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to make it anything other than what it is.
But there is a confidence in that as well, in that quite often we are tempted to have meaning in the world. I'm not saying that you were saying that people are trying to impose some kind of meaning, but it's good to see that a number of these pieces of what we're looking at today, there is a confidence there in terms of, you know, like with yours, just working with the material of the wall, or we use it with a piece of wood, or with this, it is what it is. it's not trying to be something outside of itself. It is something it wants to say. It is just what it is for the beauty of. And yes, colours and light. Coloured lights can be seductive, as we were saying, but it's put together in a thoughtful way, and it's sort of inviting you in. It is wanting you to go in there.
I'll go.
From this view here, sitting here, it's like the tape at the bottom kind of looks like the stick, so the lights are shining off a bit.
Yeah.
But you can't see the back part. All you can see is the light. You can't see the end of it. It's literally just looks like space.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, no, definitely.
So, what were you going to say?
My first impression was magical, and then it's like a personal assistant, as you said, it's inviting you in, and the tapping. I think this connection between the industrial and it's the city. I mean, you know, the city urban.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I think it does intimate all that. I think it does intimate the industrial, the urban, the city, and then inside, because usually, well, not usually, always, we live in the city, we look up to the night, because it does intimate the night sky. Again, if it was for a title, it was to be called Night Sky. But what should be on the outside, the exterior, like when we look up to the sky, it's actually on the inside. It's just a weird contradiction. The industrial is enclosing what feels like it should be on the outside.
It's like the industrial side is destroyed, like almost taking away what's beautiful.
Definitely.
I don't know, because there's part of me that's thinking as well that, you're looking through a telescope up into the sky,
Yeah.
the stars, you're looking at space, and it's that.
Yeah, that's such a fun.
Yeah, that's good. It does leave information in a
The
telescope.
more I
Kaleidoscope.
the more I see.
Yeah, it's got those intonations.
Yeah.
Telescope's a good
Even
word.
like the colour of the dot in the middle that keeps changing colour.
Yeah.
That could be the different planets. It keeps changing because you're moving.
With your shiny out.
I'm going to say though, like, I know, like, I'm trying to think about it, like, what I could think about compared with something. But one thing I've got to say, it's absolutely incredible that you've even been able to make it. I mean, like, I've always thought that that's quite ambitious, but if you decide to come chat with me one day and go, yeah, I've got this idea, and you literally drew it exactly how it was and say, I'm going to do all these things, I'd go, how? How are you going to manage that? And I think it is really, really impressive.
Can I ask
Just
you
as a
one
piece.
question? Do you draw these or do you just make it?
I just sort of do it as I go along.
Yeah, I'm like you. I can't. My ideas. I can't.
I've got things in my head
So you
what
just do
are
it, yeah.
random. Well, I've got references, but I don't normally sketch things out because I'm not one to measure. I sort of just do as I go.
Yeah, intuitive.
Absolutely.
But I think that you're not conscious. I think of what you're saying, Chris. You're not conscious of the logistics that have gone into the making of this, except for when there is a back to this, and when you do go around about where Sahara was there, and you see that light box changing. As it is, that is part of the work. We're presuming that that's intentionally part of the work. Whether or not it's meant to be, I don't know, but I like, not great word, that light coming, that light changing on the wall, shooting up there as well, that for me is very much part of this whole situation.
I think that does create that bit of mystery.
It feels like that's accidental, it's coming off the, but it's got something about it. It's got a charm.
I totally agree with
peacefulness
that.
of it reminds me of when I went to Thailand. I was in this temple with Big Buddha, and they were just chanting, and I could just happen to sit there for hours and just listen to it, and that's how I feel just looking at it. I can just sit there and look at it. I'm not bored. My eyes don't get bored. Do you know what I mean? Like some things can bore you quite easily, but it is mesmerising. I say.
I want to stay after everyone left. Sleep.
Yeah, sleep.
But
It feels like a safe.
it's
Yeah, it
not,
feels safe, like a womb.
Yeah.
but because of the exterior, it's not clean. It's quite. It feels like it's got some kind of rigour to it. It's not just that you've hung up some fairy lights in your bedroom or whatever. It is a construct. It is a sculpture. We've got quite a few things going on.
If I could take away one thing, I would probably take away the bit at the bottom, the plastic bit, just because I'd like to just focus on the line, and that's it.
Yeah.
The deck, like from here, because it looks so black, you can't see how far away
It does look incredibly black, that.
Yeah. Oh, from here it just looks really black, and you
I
can't see
Talking about
the outside.
black, can I ask her a question?
You can't ask back any
I
questions.
just wanted to think if, considering using the blackest black.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for that. I got some of that in my locker.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, there's that black.
Black, so it's a,
Yeah,
it's a black that's been formulated.
It's
No,
not the
that
black that
is
Irish
really-
Kapoor's.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you didn't make it.
Me?
Oh, I got it last year, Paris.
And he stole it.
Before Irish Kapoor bought the rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stole
Somebody's
it.
made
He
a
stole
copy
it.
of it, which is like the slightest bit different, but it's not the same formula, so it's not copyrighted.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the guy that made the picture screen.
If you,
Oh, right.
I'm actually, I'm not joking, if you want it, you can have it. I'm not going to use it.
Maybe,
You can buy it online.
Yeah.
It's fairly cheap.
It's
Got that one.
Yeah.
The light at the
But I think it would look interesting because it's supposed to absorb the light.
the spiral shape is I think maybe it's I mean it's refers to the universe or I mean maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's
The
definitely.
spiral shape.
It definitely has a massive scale to it, doesn't it? There doesn't mean scale and size, I mean size is what it is. It intimates a huge bit about the universe, the night sky. You know.
I would say, like, if you were to exhibit it, I would make people sit down in front of it, like have a beanbag, like when you see, the table drinks, have a beanbag so that people push them to sit down and be on that level.
Don't you think as it is, it demands that the viewer does this sort of thing anyway?
Yeah, but I just think when you look down like that, you're tired, whereas if you sit down, it gives you a chance to concentrate.
I like the idea of the audience having to shift around to
And
get down
the
on
idea
their
of it
knees.
being interactive and just going
down.
inside.
I know it's not a popular opinion now, I just still feel like outside. I just feel like it
You
needs.
stick with that, Chris, it's fine.
I really love the outside because it makes me think of this idea of just industrialization and dystopian.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
the way we're going now with the nature and everything that's going on, it feels like we're going to get secluded in a way at some point.
It does absolutely, well, more than intimate, like the industrial, doesn't it? But then that grey is like a sort of industrial grey, but it's also that neutral grey that allows us, our eyes to focus on the colours. That's I think that's quite important, that grey. You go into the Photoshop lab that it used to be, but Marquee, the whole place was grey, it's grey. Or you go onto the workspace of Photoshop, it's grey, isn't it? You have that grey, it's absolutely neutral. But it's also touches on the industrial as well.
And also
So you
can
might with it, yeah. We're part of the company there, Chris. But that's all right.
And also I can imagine that can add another separated area, like a soft one to attach to this one, and then as Amy said, like to have some soft seats, the other seats.
Yeah, it's kind of to bring you back to that childlike.
Okay.
Soft color.
Am I allowed to go and say what I was...
No, you can't say anything. No.
Not about my
No, you
project
can't-
last year?
No, sure. The only thing for me, well, yeah, there is a couple. When I say it's a conflict, the very slight wires coming across the front face there, that's a technical problem that should be overcome. It feels you shouldn't see those wires. And now that I've seen them, I keep focusing on those wires, and that it's those little details that just really refine. But then again, it's all in place, isn't it? It would be. I mean, it's a piece of work. It is a piece of work. Okay, well, on that bombshell, I think we will call it a day. Thank you, Bethany. I know you wanted to say something, I didn't let you, but there we are. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It was very enjoyable.